do a little bit more of a cooking demo for you again today. I've done one in the past. Getting ready to leave today. We're heading out to Georgia to Reed Bingham State Park. We've got 7 campers going in all, so it'll be a good time. One of the things we're doing is a potluck Saturday night. So the dish I'm bringing is a loaded potato salad. So you're gonna see I'm making a big batch of it. You could cut this in half if it's just for your family, but that's what we're gonna start out with today. So first I want to make the dressing. So I've got my big bowl, and I'm just going to put a packet of ranch dressing mix in it. Really easy, and you can be even easier and just use a whole bottle of store-bought ranch dressing too if you don't want to mix it. So we're going to mix this with Greek yogurt. I've told you before that we use that instead of sour cream, but you can definitely use sour cream. 2 cups of it is what you're going for. I'm going to eyeball it. Cups of sour cream and stir that into our mix. Okay. So you'll need a splash of milk just to thin this out. About a tablespoon, not too much. Okay, so once you've got that to a little bit thinner consistency, add some salt and pepper. I know this seasoning mix does have some, so don't go too heavy. We like lots of black pepper in our ranch dressing. And then a secret ingredient is just a little pinch of paprika. Kind of gives it an ode to that steakhouse ranch dressing that's got a little tiny kick to it, and that's what we like. So mix that all together. All right, here's a look of how the dressing will come together. It's just what you want. Diced and boiled a 3-pound bag of potatoes. It's a lot. Again, I said it's for a potluck. So we're gonna let me use my hands because I don't know if any water was drained out of them, and I don't want that into the dressing. Okay, so get that dressing around all of the potatoes. The reason we like this loaded potato salad is my husband doesn't do mayonnaise. He doesn't like mayonnaise-based salads and sides and whatnot. So this gives him something at a barbecue or a potluck that he knows he can eat. All right, so all the potatoes are coated evenly with the ranch. I baked 8 slices of thick cut bacon, diced that up. So that's going in as well. And then we've got about 6 green onions. Chop those up and throw them in there. And then of course, you would not have a loaded potato without cheese. So I've already shredded up cheese for a couple of my dishes, so that's why there's so much over there. But we're gonna get a couple cups in here, about 2 cups of cheese. You can never have too much cheese, so just eyeball that too. What our potato salad looks like when it all comes together. Make sure you've got plenty of cheese and green onions and bacon to go throughout. Now this is going to sit in the fridge till tomorrow night for the cookout. So when I'm ready to serve it, I'm probably going to squirt about half a cup, quarter cup to half a cup of just store-bought ranch dressing and blend that in just to get some more moisture back into it. So there you have it, loaded potato salad. And I cut my head off again. So hopefully you can see me this time. But it's the food that's important, not me. So next we're going to make honey pepper biscuits. This is from this cookbook here, The Seasoned Life from Aiesha Curry. So you should check it out. It's got some really good, wholesome recipes in there. And these are her honey pepper cast iron biscuits. I'm just gonna bake them on a sheet. I know that's not quite as good But I need to invest in a cast iron pan, so I'm a slacker when it comes to that. But we're gonna take her recommendation. We're gonna have this for breakfast tomorrow, the biscuits, and I've packed a ham steak, so like a country ham, to slice into chunks. We'll just heat it up on the griddle real quick. And then what's also good with it, the kids won't, but we love it, and that she suggests is red pepper jelly. So biscuits, country ham, red pepper jelly. This is from the Smoky Mountains. Anytime we go up to the mountains, we try and get some homemade jams and jellies, and so I'm excited to open this one and try it. Okay, so let's get started on the biscuits. Basically, we're going to whisk all of our dry ingredients together first. Okay, so the first thing I have is 2 cups of flour. About a quarter of it is whole wheat flour, just to kind of make it a little healthier for us. So what we want to do is the 2 cups of flour. So I'm just going to stir that real quick to mix my wheat with my all-purpose. Then diced it up into little cubes and kept it in the freezer. It's super cold, and then that way it makes it nice and easy to crumble into the mixture. It buys you a little more time so you're not melting it with your hands. You can also use a fork or a pastry cutter if you want. Okay, so here's a look where we've incorporated all that butter, and you'll see there's still some chunks of it, and that's fine. It's gonna melt while it's cooking and make it extra fluffy. So next we're adding mascarpone. So in case you're not sure what that is, this is what the lid looks like. You can find it, you know, in the deli section, the cheese case at any grocery store. And you want about a quarter cup of that. So the mascarpone has been mixed in just gently with my hands, and it still pretty much appears the same. You don't have a dough yet. So now we're going to pour in 2/3 cup of milk and give that a stir, and you should see the dough start to come together. In the book, Aiesha suggested using a fun cookie cutter like a heart shape, and so I thought that would be a good idea. Biscuits and 1 smaller round biscuit. The recipe called for 12 2-inch biscuits. My heart shape is definitely bigger than that, so I think it was pretty spot on. So what I'm going to do is brush the tops of the biscuits with melted butter for 2 reasons. It's going to make them nice and golden brown, and it's going to make the black pepper stick, because I did tell you these were honey pepper biscuits. So the oven is preheated at 450. Now I'm going to crack fresh black pepper on top of that melted butter and sprinkle some salt. You can serve these with the red pepper jelly and ham, like was suggested earlier, or else serve them drizzled with honey, maybe even some extra mascarpone. And so that's why they're honey pepper biscuits. And so I have honey, the extra mascarpone, red pepper jelly, and ham in the camper. So somehow we're gonna make 10 biscuits. Let us all try all of that on it. So these are going to bake in the oven about 20 minutes. And so my honey pepper biscuits are cooling. I might have cooked them a tad too long, so watch them. I didn't keep an eye on it, but they, you know, they're not burnt or anything on the bottom, so they've got give to them, so we should be good to go. I'm excited to try them. We'll just warm them up tomorrow morning real quick in the oven or the microwave or whatever, and drizzle them with honey then. Okay, I'm starting you here with pimento cheese. It's one of our favorite things to bring along camping with us. So this is 2 8-ounce bricks of cream cheese, and I'm going to whip it together with a 1/4 cup of sour cream that's already in there, just to get everything softened. And got a good whipped consistency, and I'm going to add in about a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise as well. And mix that around. Sure you have a nice, soft, spreadable consistency, because you're going to be scooping this with crackers if you're eating it as a snack. We're good there. And then also we are making pimento cheese brats. All right, so get in your cheddar cheese and I'll explain that for you. Easier if we move this, because I'm making plenty of this. We have it for snacks as well as for a meal, which is the brats. You take your bun, you know, a good hearty hot dog bun. Just mix this on low, like the stir setting. And so put your brat in there. You can sear it real quick. Put it in there, spread the pimento cheese on top, and then wrap the whole thing in tin foil and put it back on the grill to melt that pimento cheese for a few minutes. It's amazing. You'll love it. So that's a lunch that we have planned. So this is a snack and a lunch. I've given you a side for our potluck dinner, and I've given you a breakfast. So we're moving along here, quite a lot. You're going to want to strain your pimentos. I've just got a small jar of chopped pimentos. Saves a lot of time, but it does have some juice that is packed in. Water, oil, I'm not even sure. And you don't want that in there, because then it'll make your whole pimento cheese pink, and it's nice to have the yellow with the flecks of the orangish red in there. And if you've never had pimento cheese, I guess it's a staple in the South, which I don't even really consider us in Florida the South. It's a different culture, I guess, but it's amazing. So try pimento cheese. There's store-bought varieties. You can just pick it up, but this doesn't take long. It's minimal ingredients, and it's basically just mixing. So I would suggest making it your own, and then you know that there's no added chemicals or anything in it. So again, stir setting just to get those pimentos mixed around. When I started making it, was a Paula Deen recipe. I kind of just tweaked it and made it my own and went by memory, so you can always look up for a recipe. I'm not going to be exact to it because I kind of just can eyeball if it looks right. So here you go. You can look in there. You can see the flecks, you know, of the yellow shredded cheese, because this isn't a melted product. You're not cooking it when you make it. It's cold, and you want this shredded cheese throughout. And then you have the flavor of that cream cheese that we seasoned up. So the last thing I have for you today is a campfire cake. It's a cute little dessert that I saw on Pinterest, and I'm going to attempt to make it to bring to the potluck tomorrow night. So last night I baked the cake. I usually cheat when I'm making cakes and use a store-bought cake mix and make a homemade frosting. So that's how I save time. So I baked it last night so the cakes are completely cooled. I actually did 2 boxes of cake mix so that I could make these larger square cakes just so it'll feed more. And I like the height of 2 cake mixes. If you just use 1 box, it tends to be a shorter cake and it's not as pretty and doesn't look as fancy. So that was what I did. So you can make just 1 if you've got less to feed, whatever you want to do. But now I'm going to make the frosting. I do make my frosting from scratch. I prefer the taste of it. It makes much more, so I can spread it easier and not worry about scraping the last bit out of the tub or whatever, and we just enjoy the flavor of it too. And more natural, even though it's sweet and it's not good for you, but it's more natural. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a 1.5 stick of softened butter. So all in all, we've got 12 tablespoons here. I'm making a double batch of frosting because I made a double batch of cake, and I want to make sure that I have plenty to cover it. I'm sure I'll have more than enough. I always end up with scant amounts of frosting left over in the freezer, but it's good for frosting cookies, whatever. So, got the butter in, and I'm going to cream that to where it's softened before I add anything else. Butter with the cocoa blended in. You'll see it's starting to come together. Now we are also adding evaporated milk to this. With my vanilla frosting, I usually use heavy cream. This one's called for evaporated milk, this recipe. And I've just always followed it. And so if you notice it crumbly like this, you can start to add the evaporated milk to moisten it. Just add 1 tablespoon at a time. Here I've added about 3 tablespoons so far of the evaporated milk. So we're halfway through the sugar, halfway through the evaporated milk. And we'll see what happens with the second half. Close-up look of what I've done. I've taken the cake carrier and I've lined it with 4 squares each side of parchment paper for when I frost it. This helps once you're done decorating, slide them out and your platter is clean. So I've got 1 cake out and I'm about to spread the chocolate frosting in between the layers to make the glue. Ganache to pour on top and chocolate sprinkles, which kind of made it appear like dirt at the campsite. And then you'll see I use mini Twix as the logs, fruit roll-ups as the flames, and red, yellow, and orange gummy bears as the embers. So you have a campfire cake.